Love is beyond possessions, our identity, our actions. Love has a clarity, and it has a reflection. Then we arrive at the state where, from being an animal soul to being a self-correcting soul, we end up the soul at rest. Now, does that mean that we don't do more? That we don't experience more? That we don't maintain? No, of course not. Sufism is kind of like Buddhism in that way. The spirit of the matter provides us with manners that get us through any decrease or stagnation in the psychological or physical side of things. It's not about us, and it's not about the details. Of course, following at least the fundamentals of the way is very important. You find your own particulars along the way, and your own personal view and experience, no matter how much like others you are. Our human experience is to learn. Continue the experience. The meaning of life is connected to its purpose, but that is in life itself, not as some abstraction from life. You have to own your choices, your mindset, what you do about this body, your legacy and influence upon others. There's no compulsion in religion. Whatever your system of judgment is, it is your own. But the book of nature compels you. The book of yourself compels you. The revealed book compels you in a different sort of way. Of course, one's natural patterns and instinct and stuff, that just comes with having a body. But I mean, your choices. You're pointed that say, this is how you must go. And, people resist. Not saying that you can't resist and can't do other things to a certain degree. But how much of your life can you spend controlling your breath? How much of your life can you spend controlling your blood? And there's always stuff you aren't even thinking of that's necessary. We are saved by the teachings and examples of what we should and shouldn't do. But ultimately, that is up to us. And the specifics that we can get into, we can seek those out, right? We're not saying to act against the psychological, physical construct, but for those without the awareness especially when we go beyond just doing as required to do or not do, and whatever context that means, right? Because sometimes there's stories and stuff to it or whatever. It can seem totally crazy to those who are uninitiated. Now, we don't have to be initiated through a group. Certainly we're in an age where we just say what we are, and we are it. Now, I mean, you know what I mean, as far as being a type of individual, of a spiritual path, or at least that's our goal, right? Sometimes what seems to be luscious isn't really. It lacks the spirit of things. And negativity and positivity, that's not the thing either. One emotion or the other. Sure, we use them. We use modes. We use our roles in life, but we're not it. Stop counting your deeds. Stop saying if. And just get on with what you can and what you should. The barriers, the 70,000 veils, whatever you want to call it. The surrender to God is a submission that removes the barriers. Guess you have to experience some of this stuff to know what it is, because it seems like, going from less than 20 minutes a day of spiritual exercises to making the whole day a spiritual life may seem like quite the opposite. But not if you do it in God's way. Not just God's name, but in God's way. You don't try to escape yourself. You don't try to escape other people. You don't try to escape physical reality. All the realities agree. You become in line with the mineral, with the vegetable, with the animal, with the angelic, be those the light beings or the fire beings or whatever you mean by that. And then, in a sense, your existence is on that level without ever having to be reincarnated or whatever. Read between the lines, people. You're not always going to be able to have knowledge or other ability. You're not always going to be able to experience or do with the ability that you have, or you just might not have. But bit by bit, you're doing it. You're doing something that prepares you for death. Something you can't fully express. Something you can't fully think about. But you can be humble. You can put things behind or ahead. You can be what you don't dread. And those who are merely of the world will remember you well too.